Hello and welcome to the Borealis Experience. I'm your host Aurora, licensed life coach and companion on this beautiful journey called life. I hope you feel good. I hope you feel supported, safe, loved. I hope you have everything going for you. And if not, I hope I can be of value, support you to bring you back to center, to help you ground and find space, to take really good care of yourself and to find out how you can be and show up as the best version of yourself. Today I want to talk about pain, and especially about identifying with your pain. Let me explain a little further here. Sometimes we go through difficult situations. Sometimes we remember difficult situations from back in the day when we were children. And in one way or another, we now have identified through our pain. What do I mean by that? Let me give you some examples. Let's say you grew up with an absent father, and this affected you so much, influenced you so much on how you perceive the world, that you didn't notice that over time, now that you are an adult, it still holds you back from living a fulfilled life because you don't feel deserving of attention and love. Because the attention and love of your parent back then was missing, you, on a subconscious level, still believe that this is normal and has to be carried out in not allowing people to come close to you because you don't feel deserving. A rape victim, for instance, can never get over the pain of being raped and totally identify as a victim and take that into adulthood, into old age, and by not healing that wound, by not taking in that pain as your full-on identity, you could be living a life that is more fulfilled. Yes, you went through pain and trauma in the past, but we can learn to heal from that and to let go from a victim identity. And at first, it sounds like an attack to your sense of self, to your whole being, because for so many years, you have carried that pain around and it became normal to identify through that pain. But what I want to talk about today is, does that still serve you? And if it doesn't serve you, can we learn to let go of it? A lot of you people know that my dog went missing 2 weeks ago now. And I had a very hard time to stay aware of that feeling of wanting to drift into a very painful state of mind and emotional state of being, because the pain was so intense. The grieving was so much that I thought, this is it. This is part of my personality now. When people will get to know me, I will tell them first thing, I miss my dog. I'm in pain because my dog is not around anymore. And maybe you can see through that example that if I was going to do that for decades, I would hold back from living a fulfilled life. I would keep myself stuck in an identity that doesn't serve anybody, especially not my dog, but also not me. Maybe you are a widow. Maybe you have lost a loved one. Maybe you went through a heartbreak recently through divorce. Maybe you had a car accident a decade ago and you're still limping because that's how you learned to cope. But if we were to look at your body and if we were to train and heal certain parts of your body, we might find out that you don't need to limp anymore. But you are limping because you had that accident so long ago. You are shutting yourself out from community and socializing because you went through emotional pain of divorce and heartbreak and all the other intense pains that there is out there that a human being can suffer through, go through. So I want to invite you to look at yourself and to maybe write down what you think you are made of. And from what you're writing down, how much of it is past pain that you still identify with? Or do you identify with the location you were born in, the job you're working, the role you're playing in your community or your family? What do you identify with? It is a very, very important question to ask yourself because this is how you perceive yourself. This is how you're going to show up in the world. And if you are not aware of what your system, so to say, is running on, right? If you were to look at your brain, your emotions as a computer system, what is your hardware made of? What's the software made of? What are you downloading on a constant? What can be fixed? What can be let go of? What is some new stuff you want to download in order to live a content life, a fulfilled life? What is it that you identify with, but you really don't need to identify with anymore? Because it belongs to the past, you have done some healing on it, and now you can move on from that level of pain into a level of growth. This is what I want to talk about in the next couple episodes, is the post-traumatic growth. We all too often talk about the post-traumatic stress and know that it is deeply affecting us on a mental and emotional, sometimes even physical level. But what we also need to talk about is that stress and trauma is not always crippling us. It is always painful. It is always uncomfortable because it means change. But sometimes the exact trauma that we went through is what makes us more resilient, more compassionate in the present. And we need to recognize this more and more. We need to make people aware of that it is a possibility. Not everybody who went through trauma is now going to be growing from it and become a superhuman, but it is possible. You can become a very valuable, heart-driven leader. This is what I believe, at least. If you have gone through intense pain and trauma and have healed from it, because you know what it means like to go through pain. You know what it takes to heal and to move on, and you can inspire others to heal and grow. But you can only do that if you are willing to not fully identify with this past pain anymore, but to identify as a person who is able to let go, reflect, and then expand and grow and share with others. And I really hope that all this pain I had to go through right now is going to help me serve you guys and girls out there better in the future. I have to do something with that pain, and I really want this to transform me for the better, because I know a couple of days ago I was feeling like balancing on a thin cord where I could fall into deep bitterness and depression, or into a direction of acceptance and healing and growth. So this is what I'm working on right now. This is what I would love you to reflect on for now. I will be out there very soon again. Thank you endlessly for being here. I hope I was able to bring you value and bring you closer to yourself. If you like my content, my podcast, please consider making a little comment, a review. And that would help me a lot. All right. Take really good care of yourself. Until next time. Bye-bye.